Why did you choose to enter pre-university and why pre-U?
The best moment would be the time I spent with my friend.
Heart-to-heart talk among all the boys.
One of the biggest challenge for me was taking care of myself, taking care of my mental being.
100% satisfied. Yeah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. Peace be upon you, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. If you do not know me, my name is Zaima. I hope that you are well and having a splendid day today. So, in my previous video, we talked about pre-university in Madrasah Al-Sakaf. Today, we continue on to a different madrasah. As I said before, there are 6 official madrasahs in Singapore and only 4 of them have pre-universities. And they are Madrasah Al-Sakaf, Madrasah Wak Tanjong, Madrasah Al-Junaid and Madrasah Al-Ma'arif. Though I will also be sharing on Al-Zuhri because it's one of the options to take diploma in Islamic studies. I honestly hope this video will help those of you who are planning their path after O-levels and also be a motivation for those of you who are already in pre-university right now. Apart from that, I also hope that this video will help those of you like probably not in madrasah to get to know more on madrasahs in Singapore. Before anything else, as usual, I shall put a disclaimer. This video content is highly based on personal experiences. One may or may not go through the same thing. Whatever is going to be said is not meant to decry any particular organization or person. So as the video title says, you should already know which madrasah we are going to be talking about today, and it is Madrasah Wak Tanjong Al-Islamiah. I was from Madrasah Wak Tanjong Al-Islamiah in primary school and the secondary one, but I have no idea what is it like to be in pre-university. So Alhamdulillah, I have 2 of my friends here who have graduated from Madrasah Wak Tanjong Al-Islamiah, and they have taken their time willingly to share their experience with us today. So we have here today Brother Ahmad and also Sister Izzati. Assalamualaikum. How are you today?
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam. Alhamdulillah.
Okay, great. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so a little bit of brief on. Okay, so Brother Ahmad, he is a pure Madrasah Wak Tanjong student, which means he was from Madrasah Wak Tanjong since primary school and continued on in pre-U in 20 and graduated in 2019. And for Sister Izzati, she studied in Madrasah Irsyad since primary school until secondary school and then continued on to pre-university in Wak Tanjong in 2017 and graduated in 2019. So yes, they are in the same class, right?
Yes.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. Okay, so I have given you guys a list of questions so for you guys to prepare and think through. So first and foremost, that question is, what are you doing now currently?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad Shafi bin Yusuf. I'm 21 this year and I'm a student. I'm currently studying at Islamic University of Madinah in Madinah.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Izzati. I'm currently pursuing my degree in University Malaya, majoring in Islamic History and Civilization.
Continue on. Why did you choose to enter pre-university and why pre-U Wak Tanjong?
For me personally, right, why I chose pre-U Madrasah Wak Tanjong is because of the university that I chose. Madrasah Wak Tanjong is of the few institutions recognized by my university. That's why I chose Madrasah Wak Tanjong.
Therefore, Sister Izzati?
Okay, so the reason why I decided to continue PU, because at that point of time, I was more inclined towards Uhrawi studies. And then at that point of time, I wasn't ready to let go of my academic studies because I was contemplating on whether to pursue either two. Then I realized that Wak Tanjong offers both A-level and also Uhrawi. So yeah, that's why Wak Tanjong became my choice because it was the safest choice for me at that point of time.
That's great. So did you prepare anything before entering pre-U? Like for Ahmad, you were from Madrasah Wak Tanjong. Did you have?
Okay, for me personally, right, preparation wise, I did not prepare anything for the interview except for Tajweed because we students really know that one of the questions will be asked is regarding the Tajweed. Yeah, so that's about it.
And then for Sister Izzati, did you know that this question was about tajweed and did you think?
Okay, so for my case, right, I didn't know there was going to be question about tajweed. So honestly, I didn't prepare anything at all. So I just came for the interview. Then when I was like, then I saw like the other students were holding their tajweed book. I was like, okay, ada tajweed. Macam tu. I was just flustered lah. Didn't prepare anything.
How was it like adjusting from, secondary to pre-U? Because in pre-U, right, I think in all madrasas, we are considered the eldest in the school. So I'm pretty sure we have a lot of responsibility. Then for Ahmad, how is it like in the same school, but then just the difference of secondary to pre-U?
For me, like, since I'm from Madrasah Wak Tanjong, right, purely from Madrasah Wak Tanjong, from primary 1 all the way to Sec 4, then to pre-U. So there's not much of a difference to me, except considering in terms of contribution and also opportunities. So for contribution, right, basically for me, I can give one example, which is the Japanese school visit. Whereby the teacher in charge, he entrusts us, the pre-U students, to plan the event from scratch. Yeah, so basically, there's like a whole big thing for us. So you can see like how the teachers from Madrasah Wak Tanjong give us this like authorization to us students to plan. So you can see the difference with like the contribution you make as a pre-U student as compared to secondary student. But because for me personally, secondary school is more to like only study 24/7. And just like in terms of activities, sports day, anything, we just participate. We don't plan, we don't do anything. We just participate. But as pre-U, we help the teachers in terms of manpower and everything. The difference is really big, to be honest, for me. Well, in terms of subject, okay, for me, right, before I entered pre-U, during the interview, one of the invigilators, which is my ustazah, told me the number of subjects which we will be learning during pre-U. So I was like a bit like shocked, the number of subjects as compared to secondary school. So I was quite like nervous, like anxious a bit. But I asked around my seniors and everyone, so they told me like it's a normal thing for us madrasah students. We just need to like slowly but surely we get used to it. So it's okay for me.
For Sister Izzati, how was it like first and foremost from like Madrasah Irsyad to a new madrasah? Everything like in terms of friends, there's a difference?
There was definitely a huge difference because I spent almost 11 years in Irsyad from primary to secondary. So I was really worried about being in a new environment and like having to make new friends. And then I also had like certain concerns about like being in Wak Tanjong itself. I'm also an introvert, so it was a bit difficult trying to process the fact that I have to make new friends. I was just pressured. Okay, this is weird. Okay, so during like 1 week before school started, I actually like looked for guides online on how to make new friends.
That extra effort actually.
Yeah. I looked for guides on how to make new friends and then like how to act natural in a new school environment. I know it's weird, but I consult a lot on the internet. I think making new friends was a tad bit easy because macam I had Irsyad friends who joined Wak Tanjong, so their presence was comforting to me lah. Knowing that they are there with me, they made the process of making new friends a bit more easier. Yeah, that's about it.
Then in terms of subject-wise?
Subject-wise, because I consulted my brothers first who were in pre-U Wak Tanjong, and I was already expecting to, study a lot of subjects. But when I was experiencing it itself, I was overwhelmed. It got overwhelming, I think, during my first examination. That was when I realized that, okay, this is a lot of subjects, yeah.
What subjects do you take? Do you have like a list?
So for pre-U, right, our syllabus for Bukhari stream, we have two. The Bukhari subjects and also the A-level subjects. For the Bukhari subjects, we have the foundation, which is Al-Quran, Tauhid, Fikir, Tafsir, Mustalah Hadis, Mantik, Adab, Nusus,
Arut.
Arut. Yeah, Arut. Nahu.
Balagha.
Oh yeah, Balagha. Yes, Balagha.
Also, I think ada Mutala'ah. Yeah, I think there's Mutala'ah also.
Oh yeah, Balagha.
It's around 12 for Ukhrawi. And then for A-level?
For A-levels, there's Sharia, Usuluddin, Arabic language, general paper, Malay language, and also for those, this one is optional, but sastra, higher Malay. Yeah, I think there's 6 for A-level subjects.
Total around
17, 18.
18 subjects. 12 plus 6 pun tak boleh. Okay. If you could rate it from 1 to 10, the heaviness of the subject. 1 is very light and 10 is very heavy. What would you rate?
I would rate it as 7 to 8. 7.5? 7.5.
For me, I would rate it a 7. Yeah, a solid 7.
What activities do you have? Like activities, CCA, clubs, learning journeys?
Okay, for us, right, during our time, just a disclaimer, the activities or CCAs that I'm about to mention may no longer be carried out right now. So you might need to check with the current students or just check our website. Okay, so basically first is CCA. We have like Nadi Furqan. Nadi Furqan is basically a club for Quranic recitation. So Nadi Furqan, Perbayu, a club for the Malay Association, SCA, Society of English Appreciators. Intec is for the Intec thingy. Then we also have Nadi Lawah.
Yes, Nadi
Yes,
Lawah.
Yeah. The Arabic expert. So basically we have all of this.
So there's around 4 clubs total.
Yes, 4 clubs.
Yes. So which one did you participate in?
So I joined SCA, Society of English Appreciators. What about you, Inzati?
I was a member of Nadi Lawah. But I think during our second year, we changed clubs, right? Or
Yes.
is it? Yeah. So during my second year, I changed to Intec. Yeah.
Then Ahmad still the same?
No, because like what I said just now, we have a change of system. So basically, during the past, the CCA is no longer like applicable. So we now have like archery club. We have
Intec. There's still Intec. I think there's still Intec, archery. Okay, honestly,
the website.
yeah, honestly not helpful.
the sole reason why I remember archery is because I participated in archery. Yeah, so that's the reason. So,
Yeah.
Other than that, I can't remember.
No worries, I'm a proud archer also. Then apart from that, do you have any like outside school activities, like any learning journeys or inter-house games?
Okay, so we had inter-house games. I think that is the tradition in any madrasah, I think. And then we also had a learning journey. This is also supposedly a continuous tradition for pre-university students. So initially, our plan was to go to Spain, I think, for our year. But then somehow it ended up with just Kelantan. Okay, at first I think it was disappointing, but I think the educational trip was one of the most memorable trip for me. I don't know for Ahmad lah, but it was for me lah.
That's fun. So each year you guys can choose your own country you want to go.
Yeah, we can propose a country that we want to go.
So what's the purpose for the learning journey?
Purpose. Okay.
Everything must have a purpose.
Yeah, purpose.
It's called a learning journey, right? So what's the purpose? What do you learn during that journey? Is it like the purpose more to like bonding?
Okay, so the purpose for the learning journey was, as it's written, is educational purposes. I think for the development of the student themselves, I think, or just to get a hands-on experience with being with other communities.
Basically, right, during our Kelantan trip, one of the days we are asked to like teach the locals there, the kids there. So what we taught in English and Arabic. So for Arabic, right, I still remember whereby we asked all the locals kids there to sit in circle. Then our previous students, we are in groups. We will like teach them a few words in Arabic. Then we also have another activity whereby we teach them about directions. Then we actually did an activity whereby it's like a maze, right? We ask them to close their eyes. We as the we as the, I don't know, a few students, we ask them to just like
Facilitators.
facilitators. So we ask them like to go where from where with their eyes blindfolded using what they have learned from the Arabic directions.
Mm-hmm.
That's
That
about
is
it.
very interesting. I think it sounds fun. It is a learning journey. You learn how to teach students, maybe when Ahmad become an ustaz later also for kids, right? During your pre-U years, what do you think was the biggest challenge you had?
Okay, in PRIO, we have these student leaders, right? In Madrasah Wak Tanjong, specifically we have Mawat, which is the head of them all. Then below Mawat, we have your ID, UKP, US, So each department serves with their own agenda. So basically for me, I was elected as one of the student leader. So knowing my personality, I'm like the shy type. So knowing my character and the nature of how my position works, it really gives me a hard time, especially the first few weeks since my election. Like the constant whispers that says like, am I even good enough for this position? Yeah, so it got the better of me. So it affects me like a whole lot. I was given the position UID, which is Unit Ibadah dan Dakwah, which is responsible for the spiritual being of the students.
So it's more of a challenge of trying to be able to get that standard of the people's perspective.
Yes, correct. Because like I was forced like to get out of my comfort zone. It was a challenge for me.
But do you think you appreciate that moment?
Of course. I did really learn a lot from that particular position with my team as well. So like as time goes by, I got used to the position. Then I got also like motivational words from the people around me, especially my friends. So yeah, slowly I got used to the position. Alhamdulillah.
That's great. So you didn't succumb to all the words that people say.
Yeah.
Then for Sister Izzati, what was the biggest challenge?
For me personally, the biggest challenge was taking care of myself. It was more of a personal challenge lah. But basically, I got sick a lot during the critical time in my pre-U period, in which I think during every exam period, I actually got sick. So one of my biggest regret was that I wasn't able to really take care of myself well. And this might seem personal, but I think I had difficulties juggling with school, extra work because I was under unit media, multimedia, and then I had like other things that I had to juggle with. So and then I struggled with a lot of pressure and expectations. So I think one of the biggest challenge for me was taking care of myself, taking care of my mental being and health. And it got to a point where during my A-level period, I actually got incredibly sick where I couldn't even like do any revisions. So I actually came to do my examinations not prepared at all. Yeah, it was a sad memory because of all the burnouts. So yeah, I was really hoping that if I could go back time, I would really want to remind myself to take care of myself better. Yeah.
Sometimes it's something that we cannot really control, right? Also.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you did well at the end. As Ahmad said, you were a top. So I'm sure you already achieved to go through that challenge.
Yeah. But at the same time, I always wonder if it's, something worth risking for,
Thank you so much for sharing your challenge and your personal. I'm sure it's difficult for you to share also. Thank you so much.
It's okay.
After that, what is the best thing for you during your pre-U years?
A big question.
For me personally, I think my best moment would be the time I spent with my friends. Be it during the times that we had to plan for events, for the Japan student events or for Hari Raya. I think we spent quite a lot of time in school together. And also during our Kelantan trip, I think that was a moment where we all bonded and we got much closer to each other. And also, personally, one of the most memorable memories for me with friends would be during the break times in between classes, where we have break times. We would do like questionable stuff, like playing in class, Okay, I think Ahmad might not know this, but like at times when like there were only girls in the class, we would play, paper planes. We would play hide and seek, all those. So we had to make sure that the guys were not around so that we could have fun. So yeah, that was like one of the most memorable experience for me, I think. Just in order to release stress, we did like a lot of weird stuff.
So Ahmad, do you know about it? Or is this a new discovery for you?
It's okay. The guys also did like questionable stuff.
I didn't know.
For Ahmad, how about you? What's the best thing for you during your few years?
Yeah, for me personally, right, the best memory that I can remember right now is Zika Wasul 2018. So like after arranging all the chairs and all the tables, we had like a heart-to-heart talk among all the boys. So basically the idea of heart-to-heart talk, we just say the things that we could not normally say in front of others. So we need this particular time where we can just express our feelings. If let's say we have like, not rivalry lah, some sort of bitter among us. So it was a great memory for me. Yeah.
Was it helpful in terms of your relationship bonding with your friends?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course, definitely. So like we managed to clear some like doubts and also clear some misunderstandings.
I think it's a very big discovery for me to know that guys also do heart-to-heart talk, honestly.
Okay. I also want to make an edit. Okay, so girls also do we did a heart-to-heart talk also. Okay. Okay, but I think it's normal for girls to do that. Yeah, so that's why I didn't mention it lah. But I think we did a lot of heart-to-heart talks in which we try to know each other better. As in like we seek advice from each other on how we can improve ourselves. Yeah.
It sounds very fun, honestly. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a fun time and something that not a lot of students or batches actually went through maybe. Then after you finish graduating, right, you satisfied with the knowledge or certificate that you got out of it?
For me personally, since I entered Islamic University of Madinah, so basically what I'm studying right now, what I'm currently studying is aligned with what I studied back in Madrasah Wak Tanjong. So it's like a win-win situation for me. So I would say 100% satisfied. Yeah.
Okay, for me personally, I think with what the certificates can offer, I am satisfied. And also in terms of the curriculums, because especially with my current degree that I'm pursuing, a lot of the things are related to the stuff that I've learned in pre-U. So a lot of the notes that I had in pre-U, I'm still using it right now. So it's still useful. But I think one tiny bit of thing that I'm not able to, say 100% satisfied is, I think something that is lacking to me would be enlightenment during like the studies themselves, because I feel like during pre-U, most of the subjects or the way it was being taught was a bit too exam oriented, I think. And I think moments where I felt enlightened were rare during pre-U. Yeah, just for the sake of like the knowledge itself. Moments that I can remember feeling being enlightened would be during discussions among friends themselves, when doing presentations especially, and also when we had to do our own personal reading. Yeah, that is my only, I think, not complaint lah, just something that I felt was lacking.
I think I understand, because I think it depends on each person. Also, some people don't really mind, because some people just, as long as I pass the exam, I'm fine with it. But even personally for me, I would prefer for me to have an understanding of the subject at the end of the day. So how did you prepare yourself from pre-U to where you are now?
Okay, this is only specifically for Islamic University of Madinah. Okay, from what I know, all the students who want to pursue their studies in Islamic University of Madinah, they know that the application to Madinah will take much longer compared to other universities. So we need to apply early as 1 year early or 2 years. So I applied during my first year pre-university, which is pre-U 1. So after I took my mid-year exams in pre-U 1, so immediately I applied for Islamic University of Madinah. Okay, that's another reason why I chose Madrasah Wak Tanjong is because a few asatizahs there They are from the Saudi universities there. So basically for Islamic University of Madinah, you need to have a tazkiyah. So for tazkiyah, you can only receive them for students who graduated from that particular university, which is any universities in Saudi, if I'm not mistaken. So I got my tazkiyah from one of the asatiza there, Madrasah Wak Tanjong. So Alhamdulillah. Okay, that's point number one. Point number two is the part where we need to do all the documents ourselves. So for me personally, I need to like go a few places to chop my documents and got them approved before I can like send it to the university to like consolidate the documents. So I need to go to MUIS, I need to go to MFA, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I need to go to a few places. It's a tedious work, but it's worthwhile for me.
From your asatiza, whose help do you also get?
Okay, good question. Okay, so basically another reason why I chose Islamic University of Madinah is by the influence of my seniors. So they like some sort of influenced my batch. Okay, not my batch lah. Most of us to like continue to this particular university.
And then for Sister Izzati, how did you prepare yourself?
Okay, so mine is different because personally, even during pre-U, I hadn't decided yet on like what kind of degree I wish to pursue. So I had like nothing in mind, or like I wasn't even considering any universities. And I think I felt jealous or pressured to see like some of my other friends, you know, that they already decided on what kind of path that they are going to take, and that they also had set their own target, which I think makes it easier for them to, you know, convince themselves, you know, to finish pre-U. So it was a bit difficult for me because I didn't have anything in mind. So what I prepared for myself was that I just tried my very best to make sure that I excel in my studies, so that in order for me to have a wide spectrum of choice when I wish to pursue degree, which I think is helpful, I guess. Yeah.
I think it's helpful because I think a lot of people might be stuck where they want to continue, right? Because the purpose of this video is for that to help them plan after O levels, right? So what personal advice would you give to them for them to plan out their path? What maybe like something that you would want to hear when you were there in their position?
I wouldn't say this would be a useful advice. I just feel like this would be something that I wish to hear if I was like just finishing O levels. My advice would be to plan ahead, to know in particular when is the interview time or application time. Because for my case, I wasn't aware of the scheduling especially for Aljunied and also Alsagoff. So the reason why Wak Tanjong became my choice was because I missed the deadline for Alsagoff. So
I personally for Wak Tanjong feel like it's the last choice.
No, but it's not the last choice. It was my second choice, I think. Okay, and I even applied poly during the last day for application. Like it was a rush. So my advice would be to really plan ahead and to check on the courses that might pique your interest or something that you would consider. But at the same time, I feel like you just don't have to stress yourself too much. If you think that is the right thing to do at that point of time, then just go on with it. And if you are afraid of like losing interest halfway, I feel like that is normal and that is okay, because I feel like opportunities are always open. So yeah, so don't be afraid of doing it. Yeah.
It's a very good advice. I would like to hear that too. Yes.
Okay, Ahmad.
To be honest, this question right, I just wrote macam I don't know. Serious. I really don't know what to answer for this particular question. Try Bismillah. Me personally, right, I take into account purpose. Okay, so purpose wise, if let's say right, you want to pursue pre-U, then just go on. If let's say you want to continue to poly, just go on. So as long as you have like a purpose studying in a particular institution, you can just go ahead. Okay, doesn't mean you continue poly, you are like teaching your Islamic studies subjects. No, as long as your purpose, as long as your intention is still there, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
I think for me also, this is a good advice because having an intention helped me also in middle, like because pre-U was quite difficult, and then in the middle of pre-U, I kind of like feel like I want to change my career path, but then I remind myself what's the intention of me entering pre-U. So maybe you can also do that. What's the intention of you entering poly? So there's probably not going to be much regret at the end of the day. Okay, and then what advice or motivation would you give to your current juniors that are in their pre-university years right now?
As an ex-madrasah student or as an ex-student, okay, I would really like to emphasize the important point of treasuring your time in school, especially with your friends and your teachers. Okay, to be honest, this is like a reality we need to face. The friends that we have in school, not all of them we're going to friends with them until we die. The idea is just treasure your time with your friends and teachers. Don't take it too lightly, because that's what I regret back then during my pre-U days, because I'm the type who likes to go home straight after school. I don't like to spend my precious time lepaking, if there's such a word, lepak in school.
Are you encouraging to lepak?
No. There's like a distinct line between treasuring your time with your friends and also not prioritizing your time. Yeah, so that's about it.
Okay, and then for Izzati.
Okay, so for me, my advice would be when things get too overbearing or overwhelming, please take care of yourself, prioritize yourself, and if you are doubting whether you deserve to take a break or rest, I will tell you, you deserve it. Okay, don't ever doubt whether you deserve that break. And I also feel like you do not need to compare yourself to others. Just manage your own expectations and just focus on yourself. And I also suggest for you to develop your own learning habits, and then at the same time, like in the midst of all the revision and studying, I think it's also important for you to discover new hobbies and interests, because that might be helpful for you when you are pursuing your degree or you are intending to pursue other things like maybe diploma. And yeah, I just feel that you just don't need to stress yourself, and having fun is extremely important, tapi a minimal amount je. And I think first and foremost is to just make sure that your well-being, your mental being is okay. Just you have to come out healthy and alive. Yeah, that is my advice, I think. Oh yeah, and also to be consistent, istiqamah is important, and never underestimate the power of dua, because I feel like that is extremely useful and important for us to remember. And most importantly, after all the efforts that you have put, is to tawakkal. Yeah.
That is a great advice from both of you, from Brother Ahmad and also Sister Izzati. Okay. So alhamdulillah, we've already finished our session in this question and answer. I actually posted in Instagram for people to send in their assumptions on Madrasah Wak Tanjong students. So this is the time for us to see whether the assumptions, is it true or is it not true? And maybe you can explain further also. The first assumption is that Madrasah Wak Tanjong students are very laid back, like very relaxed in terms.
Is it like Wak Tanjong equals to lepak kind of vibe? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think like we have that mentality.
Okay, to me personally, I don't know how you get that idea. Like Madrasah Wak Tanjong equates to lepak. I think it's more to personal. It's a personal thing. For example, you see a Madrasah Wak Tanjong student in public and they like lepaking with their friends. Yeah, so I don't know. So I think it's a very vague statement. It's not quite true lah. At the end of the day, it's up to the individual himself, herself, So if let's say he's the lepak type, then he's the lepak type. Okay, the whole idea is a misconception by the public against any sort of students, madrasah, be it madrasah students or secular students.
This one is another one. The ukhuwah in this madrasah is epic.
I
True.
would say it's true. True. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially, it's evident for boys, especially. Yeah.
What I see from a junior perspective during my secondary days at Madrasah Wak Tanjong. So we usually after school, all the boys, regardless of the level, be it secondary school or pre-U level, play soccer together behind the school compound. So you can see from this, like, we don't see like a senior to junior thing. It's like to us, all of us like are the same.
And then the next assumption is very mischievous but very friendly.
Ahmad, I think this is mostly to the guys, kan?
Again, for me, it's a personal question. It's like it's like an individual question. Yeah, so it's up to the individual himself or herself.
So Ahmad, are you mischievous?
I would say yes. Yeah. I'm maybe mischievous, shy, but yeah. Self-proclaimed.
Alright, continue on for the next assumption. Too many subjects to focus on for Wak Tanjong Pre-U.
If you're taking both Ukhrawi stream and also A-level stream, and on top of that, you're also taking Sastra, yeah, I would say it's too much. It's true.
Do you study like everything at once?
No.
No,
For
not for some subjects only.
Yeah, for some subjects like Mantiq, Mustalah Hadith, we're going to learn like the first semester. Then the second semester, we will not be learning the two subjects.
Okay, and lastly, good debaters. Any of you from a debate team?
In nutshell, benda malu tak? Share je lah.
Share.
Okay, for us, for our batch, right? If I remember correctly, it was during Pre-U 2. So one of the ustad, our Arabic ustad, okay, he asked us to join a debate. So basically, the debate competition was held among the madrasahs. Okay, we need to consider this. This particular ustad, right? This responsibility was given by the principal herself. So, like it or not, the ustad must like urge us to join this competition. But from what I see, our batch like has no interest at all for this debate team. So sadly, we did not join this debate team. Yeah. So if I'm not mistaken, during the competition, only Madrasah Wak Tanjong did not compete in that competition. Yeah.
So good debaters would have to consider the batch and also personnel.
Yeah, I think the good debaters thing applies to the older batch, but not the recent ones. Yeah.
For our batch, personally, no.
Pressure for the future for your juniors to like take back these good debaters.
Yes. Especially the Arabic debate competition. Please join.
It's a good exposure. It's a good exposure.
And then you guys don't join yourself, but then good exposure.
This is not related to debate, but another sort of competition which is Pesta Pantun. Okay. So I remember that from our batch, they joined the Pesta Pantun in 2018, if I'm not mistaken, 2018 or 2017, and Alhamdulillah, they won. They got first place. So Alhamdulillah, dah buka aib like skip batch nama kita.
We might not be good debaters, but we excel in other stuff.
Nice.
Besides debating.
Nice.
Alhamdulillah.
Alright, that is all the assumptions that I have for you today. Do you have anything else for you to add on?
Just a disclaimer, all of the opinions stated are mine. So, like, I might say something that might be like wrong to majority of people. But yeah.
Likewise, all of the things that I said just now are from my own experience and are of my own opinion.
thank you so much for being here, for taking your time and sharing with us your experience. So thank you so much. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you.
Waalaikumsalam.
Welcome. Waalaikumsalam.
Alhamdulillah, we have reached till the end of this video. Thank you so much everyone for staying until the end and listening to us. I hope this video have benefited you in any way possible. So if you have any questions at all regarding madrasah and pre-U, you can always comment down below your questions or approach me personally on Instagram, or even approach my two friends here today on their Instagram. Oh, and if you were from Madrasah Wak Tanjong pre-U or currently am, do share your experiences also down below in the comments. I would really love to hear your story. I hope you will like this video and also hit the subscribe button so that you can be updated on my next post on a different madrasah. Thank you so much everyone. Assalamualaikum.